Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi, and here I like to talk about luxury beauty. But today we are going to be going through some of the items that I am purging. So, items I've decided I don't want to keep in my collection. I usually do try to use my makeup and not really just collect it. I know I have a lot of makeup. So, when I realize that there's something that I am not really going to get much use out of, and it's something that is not really beneficial for swatching on a regular basis, I try to give it away to friends or Project Beauty Share, things like that. So today we're going to go through some of the items that I have decided to let go and why I've decided to let them go, as well as, which items are sticking around in those categories. So this will kind of be a part one because I haven't gone through everything yet, but let's go ahead and get started. I recently my last video was this massive powder video, a huge collection of powders with all of my powders swatched and so forth. And, I had no idea I had that many powders when I started preparing that. That actually took me a couple of months to create that video. And, I was just shocked how many I had. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to use all of those. So I am going to discard some of those, give those away to some friends, and, we'll see where they go. But let's go ahead and talk about which ones I'm removing from my collection and why. First up, this is a fantastic powder. I really love the Chantecaille Perfect Blur powder, but unfortunately, it's just a little bit deeper than what I like. I used it for a long time. I used it regularly under my eyes, but even so, it was still just not quite the right shade for me. And now that I have amassed more powders in my collection, I found things to kind of replace that for me. So I am going to pass this one on. Likewise, the Sisley Blur Expert. I have to say, I didn't even really use this much. So, it's just better off going to somebody with a deeper complexion. It's too dark for me. I do think it's a nice powder. I think it's a little bit difficult to use because you really have to play with it to get just the right application, figure out exactly how much product you need on your face. And it's nice under foundation, but it's just a little bit too dark for me. So a lot too dark. So I'm gonna pass that one on. We also have the Decluttering Sakura Tone-Up Powder, and I actually really like this powder. The only reason I'm gonna pass this on is because I do have a friend who really wants this one. So with the other powders in my collection, I'm just not going to get as much use out of it as she would. But otherwise I would be hanging on to this one. So this is a really nice powder. It is still available on the Decluttering website, but it's limited edition. So I figure, it's better off going to somebody who I know is going to get a lot of use out of it. Next, we have the Dior Forever Cushion Powder in Lavender, which to say I do really love the shade of this. I think the cushion powder is nice. It's got the little puff and so forth. I like the packaging, but I just don't love the powder. I know I'm not going to use it. So with everything else I have, this is kind of towards the bottom of my list. I just don't love it. For me, it ends up looking a little dry on my skin, and so I'm going to pass that on. I'm also going to pass on the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Lavender Powder. Now, honestly, this is such a great deal. I forget what this worked out to be, something like $1.21 per gram. You know what, maybe I'm actually going to end up keeping this. There are so many different things I can do with an inexpensive powder as well. One of the things which I actually learned from Jaybird Walking, if you watch her, she's a Fude brush person, but she cleans her powder brushes in between use by dusting them in just a plain loose powder, obviously just something completely, inexpensive and so forth. And basically you put a ton of powder on it, and that helps knock off any of the pigment and so forth. And it's a version of dry cleaning your brushes. So I don't know if I'll use this one for that, but it is hard to find a lavender powder, so never mind. I'm going to keep this one. Likewise, I am keeping the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder, the original, for that same purpose, but I have since found other powders that I prefer on my face than this one. But it's a classic, and this is You know, I looked up the ingredients like a year ago, so I don't truly remember what they were, but I remember it was very minimal ingredients and it was basically just a silica powder. So this will be great for cleaning my brushes. Almost a waste, but you know, mine's getting old, so might as well use it instead of giving it to somebody who, you know, they can get something fresh. Another powder that is going to be moving on is the By Terry Starlight Rose CC powder. And, you know, I think it's a nice powder. I think it's gorgeous to look at, but, you know, it's another one that I think it's nice, but in comparison with my other powders, it's just okay. So I'm still holding on to the majority of my powders, but you know, I love powder. So for me, I know I will actually reach for everything that I am holding on to for one purpose or another. Now in my drawer with my powders, I also have this box of like primers and concealers. So let's just go through what I have in here and what I'm keeping. I think I'm going to be keeping most of this, but we have the Rodial Glass Primer. I like that, so I'll be keeping that. The Say High Beam concealer and the Chanel concealer, I'm definitely keeping those. I also have the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Glow Serums in both shades. I'm keeping those. I'm actually wearing the deeper one today underneath foundation on my cheeks. It adds just a little bit of a bronzy tint, but it's pretty translucent. I have my Cle de Peau Radiant Cream Foundation. You can see, you know, there's not a ton of product in here. You don't need a lot, but I've definitely been using it. I really like that. Definitely keeping that. The Sisley Phyto Hydra Tint. This is actually a new tube of this. This is shade 0 Fair. I love this for summer, so holding on to that. Westman Atelier foundation I'm keeping. The Rose Inc concealer. You know, I like this one, so I'm going to hold on to that. I have a refill of the Suku. This is their powder foundation, which I love. I always travel with this, which is why I keep it in this little packaging as well. The Pat McGrath Under Eye Powder I'm keeping. Danessa Myricks. This is the shade Tiara. I forget what these things are called. It is the Vision Flush. So keeping that. That's new. I have the Tom Ford concealer, the shade Illuminate. I still love this, so I'm definitely going to keep that. This is the Shiseido powder foundation, and this is actually, you know, it's a nice product. I like it. I like the fact that you can actually, this sponge, it's a wet dry sponge. So, you know, you've got one side to use dry, and then if you dampen the other side, you can actually turn this into more of a cream foundation. So I really like that, but I don't reach for this that much. So I'm going to get rid of this. Fit Glow Beauty. This is their concealer and their corrector in peach. I do like those. I'm going to keep those. I've got the Emotion Proof Eye Primer from Tom Ford. I'll keep this, but I don't love it. I do use this occasionally, but more so in the winter it's more of a moisturizing eye primer. I don't find it extends longevity as well. I've got the Jones Road face pencils. I'll keep those. Dior Backstage Primer, concealer, been using this. I do like that. The Chantecaille Real Skin Plus Stick. I use this more so as concealer than anything else. I'll keep that. I also have the new Cle de Peau, the concealer, keeping that. Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Foundation. The Rodial Peach Lowlighter. This is one of my favorites. I use this a lot, especially now during the summer. I've been reaching for this a ton, so I'm going to keep that. The Givenchy Prisma Primer in green. This helps cancel out my redness on my cheeks. I don't use this often, but I'll use it for like special occasions and stuff. The Sisley Phyto Cerns Eclat Concealer in shade 1. I always mix this with the, you know, a different concealer, usually like the Pat McGrath concealer or something, but it's too dark for me, and this is getting older now, so I'm going to get rid of this. The Hourglass Veil Eye Primer. I liked this, but I'm going to pass on that now because it is getting older. Sample the Sisley Double Tensor. It's nice, but I still prefer my other ones. I'm going to get rid of that sample. The Suku concealer in shade 21. I do like this one still. It's a little heavy most of the time, so I don't use it too often, so I will get rid of that. My original Cle de Peau concealer. I'm still gonna keep it. I like that. And then I also have the Radiant Corrector for eyes, which I love. This is actually almost empty, so I'm just gonna pull this out and stick it on my desk so I remember to use that up because that's almost gone. And then some other primers. We've got the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. This is an older tube of it. I do like to keep one of these on hand. I find they work really well with specifically the Pat McGrath shadows. But I'm gonna get rid of this one. I'll get a fresh tube at some point. The NARS Eye Primer, this one, I do really like this one as well, but it's an older tube now, so I'm gonna get rid of that. These two, not that old, but we've got the Pat McGrath Intensifies Artistry one. This product's okay. You know, I think using it as an eye primer, it does not help with longevity, but it does work well at intensifying some of her shimmer shades and so forth. So I'm going to keep this one, but, you know, I might end up changing my mind on that. And then we have the Chantecaille. This is their next generation eye base in shade Light. I don't like it. I'm going to get rid of this one. All right, moving on, some random things. I've been slowly purging things over the months. This is the Chantecaille Future Skin Cushion Foundation shade Aura. I used this up, so I'm going to get rid of this. They don't sell refills, so there's no point in me hanging on to the compact. But I liked the product. I just felt that it was overpriced for how much I liked it. Meanwhile, I have to say the Sicily cushion is even more expensive, but I like this one better. I like this one so much that, and you know, you can actually buy refills at Selfridges. So I'm doing that, keeping this. I'd rather pay more for this because I love it so much more than this. I feel like I just have to use more product with the Chantecaille, and the shade's not right for me. I don't have a great shade. The Sicily shade's actually a little off too, but it's better for me than the Chantecaille. So I'm gonna get rid of that. I did use up another Surratt primer, so trashing that. This is the Givenchy Volume Disturbia mascara. I really liked this. At the end though, when after like 3 months or so, when I was starting to dry up, I did get some flaking under the eyes with it, but I would buy this again. This one was actually gifted to me, I think. Yes, a friend gave me this. And, but I would buy this, but that's gone now. So I'm going to get rid of that. I also used up the Chantecaille Le Camouflage Cielo. I really like this. I don't love the applicator because I have to hit the button so much at the end here to get the product out. But I'm hopeful that they will be changing that in the future. They seem to be upgrading some of their dispensers that have historically had problems. So I'm hoping that that will be a change. I'm passing on 2 of the Lisa Eldridge Elevated Glow highlighters. I had picked up all 4 of them thinking I could use them for like contouring and bronzer and so forth. And I just don't love them on me. So I'll give those to friends with deeper complexions. Also getting rid of the By Terry Starlight Rose CC Booster. This is actually really nice. You can see I did use a little bit of it, you know, I think a pretty fair amount, but you know, it's an older product now, so I'm gonna get rid of that. The Rare Beauty mascara. I thought this was a nice mascara. It's good for the price, but it's not one of my favorites. I didn't love it. So I know a lot of people do love it, but it's not, it was a little clumpier on me than I prefer. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Also getting rid of the Armani, this is the Luminous Silk Concealer. That was nice, but not a favorite, so getting rid of that. My Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is really old, I don't know, from way before I started YouTube, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Also passing on this Suku blush. This is one of the Pure Color blushes. It was limited edition in shade 123. This color doesn't work for me, so I'm going to give it to a friend who is interested in it. The Say Bronzer in Light Bronze. You know, it's actually a nice product. I didn't love the color on me. I'm giving this to a friend. The Dior Show Sparkling Black Eyeliner. I found these to be kind of dry, and I have a ton of eyeliners that I prefer over this. So getting rid of that. Another mascara. This was the Rodial XXL mascara. I liked this one. I used that one up, so that's gone. Also used up my Koh Gen Do Moisture Foundation in shade 012. Absolutely love this. I will be repurchasing this in the fall. They usually do have a Labor Day sale on the Koh Gen Do website, so I plan on picking this up at that time. I also have the By Terry Brightening CC Serum in White Rose. Again, this one is really old. I got this, I think, before the Starlight Rose one, so which is over 2 years old now at this point, I think. So gonna get rid of those. I used up the Surratt Dew Drop Foundation in shade 1.5. I really liked this one. I'm actually kind of in between colors, the 1.5 and the 3. You know, mixing them together is a perfect mix. But there are other foundations I prefer over this one, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. All right, and then this is the what is this called? The Glowy Super Gel in Star Glow. I love the color of this. I never loved this product. I don't know if it's just mine, but I just swatched it here. You can see that mine's like more like patchy. This is older now. I bought this last summer, but even then, like it's just, I don't know. It's almost like mine has separated inside the tube, but shaking it doesn't really do anything. So I'm going to get rid of that. I also have the Cle de Peau. This is the Radiant Cream Foundation, which I absolutely loved. They discontinued it. I did hit pan. I didn't finish it all the way, but it's getting to the point where it's drying out, so it's not performing as well. So I'm going to get rid of this, and can't wait to try the new version when that comes out. Or did that? I don't even know if that already came out, but I will definitely try an updated version of that at some point. Also have the Kevin Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer, which, you know, it's hard to use this. I mean, it doesn't look like I used it at all, right? But I totally did. You need like the tiniest bit ever. It reminds me of the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Foundation in that sense. This color is off for me, so I'm going to get rid of that. Also getting rid of the Rituel de Fille Celestial Sphere in Lyra. I don't like these little containers because I find once you're past the top layer, it's hard to get into them. And this one is just very, like, I mean, it performs the way it's supposed to, but I just don't love it. This one here, Cultist, I absolutely love the color of this, but this is, apparently the other shades don't perform like this. This one's an actual eye soot. So this is supposed to like stay really well on your lid and so forth, but mine creases like immediately. The Lyra is more of like a sheer sparkly topper. It's a little bit more emollient. So for this to crease, I totally expect that. This one though isn't supposed to. I've read that other people have the same issue with just this shade. Love the shade, but I don't like the performance of it. So this is what it looks like. You can see, you know, it does look chunky. It goes on smooth, but it's a beautiful color. Another thing here, this is the Chanel Dimension Ultime de Chanel mascara. And I forget, I think this one might have been, I can't remember if this was a tubing one or what, but I did not like this mascara at all. It was a flaky mess. So getting rid of that, I actually only used it maybe 10 times because it was just terrible. All right, random eyeliners. This is an old version of the Chanel Cielo Yo waterproof ones. This is shade 83 Cassis. Mine has dried up. I do have a newer one, so I'm gonna get rid of that. I also have a couple of random eyeliners. This is a Wander Beauty. Have another Wander Beauty, a Carmindy. Those are all like older. They have, you know, dried up at this point. Getting rid of those. Also getting rid of the Gucci. This is the other brow pencil from Gucci, the one that is not the powder. I don't like it at all. It doesn't really perform well for me. I'm getting rid of that. I'm not going to use that at all. Oh, my Pat McGrath concealer. I have to get rid of this. You can see it's changing color and everything in the tube. It's really old now. I do love the concealer. I might pick that up again in the future. Also getting rid of one of the Chanel Cielo Ombre Contour. I'm giving this one to a friend after we disinfect it. But this is in the shade 36 Contour Mauve. The color looks terrible on me, in my opinion, but it looks good on her. She has a warmer complexion. All right, and then we have some random lip products. I have not gone through my lipsticks yet, but these were my lip gloss drawer. and my kids actually went through and took some. So some of them aren't in here, but I am getting rid of these are from, what, maybe 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago. These were the little Tom Ford lip balms that came out in the holiday collection. And I did go through like a couple of them. This one here was Après Soleil. It has turned, so it's time to toss that. Sad news, but my Pat McGrath lip glosses, these are the Opulus glosses. I'm getting rid of the majority of these because they are older, so I'm not going to get through them. They have not turned yet, but you know, I have a lot of lip glosses. I don't reach for these as much. However, I did keep a couple of these. So this one in particular, I'm keeping. This is Lavendering, and when this is, you know, it's getting a little older, so maybe during the next Sephora sale I'll replace this, but I love this one. So this is one I would definitely keep on hand. The other colors I don't wear as much, so I'm going to get rid of those. The Lila Bee lip oil, I love the formula. This is the shade Be Elegant. I don't love this color. There are others I prefer. I wish they would expand their shade range because I think this is a really great product, but I don't love the colors they have out. I'm gonna get rid of that. Also getting rid of my Merit Pink Beat lip oil. Again, I like this, but there are others that I prefer, you know, color-wise and so forth. It's just not a great color. I also have some Pat McGrath mini lip glosses I'm going to get rid of. They're old. The Rose Ink lip crayons, these are actually called the, what are they called? Like maybe Lip Sculpt or something. Anyway, these are okay. I don't love them as much as other lip crayons I have, so I am getting rid of these. I also have some Chantecaille lip glosses that you can see they're older, so I'm going to get rid of them. This one here is Classic, and this one here is, what is this one? I think it's Charm, but I can't read it. If I remember correctly, it's Charm. Yes, it's Charm. So I'm getting rid of the glosses because they're older. I love the Chantecaille lip glosses, so I may get more of those in the future. The Chantecaille matte Stilos, I had all of the shades of this. I don't like these. They're a little dry on my lips, so I'm going to get rid of these. Pat McGrath, this is one of the old lip balms. This is the shade Noir. And I actually used, I mean, there's still a lot left, but I used a lot of it. You can see how far down it goes in the tube now. So I did use a ton of it. The packaging though, I find her packaging to get kind of gummy as it gets older. And now it's just like a pain to open and twist it up because of that packaging issue. And last up, we have the Say lip gloss in Fresh. I like the color. If you love the smell of coffee, you would probably absolutely love this lip gloss. I am not a coffee drinker. I know. Actually, the only hot drink I really enjoy is hot chocolate. So like real hot chocolate, not cocoa. So yeah, this scent, it's too strong for me. I can't get past it to wear it enough. So I'm gonna decant that from my collection. I also have a huge bag of Empties. We're just going to go through a couple of them right now, not the whole bag, but the Rationale Nutrient Face Serum, I love. This is a staple for me. I always have a bottle of this on hand. During the summer, this is often my only product that I put on my face before sunscreen. And yes, I do have a new bottle of this. Absolutely love it. I buy it when it's on sale though. And yeah, so absolutely love that. The Rationale Luminous Cleansing Elixir, I do really like this, but I have since found other products that I prefer. And actually for taking off my makeup, I've been using the Chanel L'Oil instead, their cleansing oil, because I find that one, it's more of a drier oil, so I can take off the eye makeup and everything with no problem. Because, you know, like today, I'm actually wearing the Surratt Noir Lash Tint, which requires an oil for removal. This will work on it, but it requires more effort for me to get it off than the Chanel oil. So I use that, and then I do another cleanser for a second cleanse. So this I'm not going to be picking up again. And the Biossance Squalane and Antioxidant Cleansing Oil, I have 4 more bottles of this. This is what I use to cleanse my arm from swatches. So I really like this. I do use it on my face sometimes as well. I prefer the Chanel because it's a drier oil. This is a little bit oilier. So I do really like this one, and we'll use this on my face as well. But I buy it because I buy it on sale and I stock up because it's fantastic for taking off swatches. It works better than other makeup removers for me to get the swatches off my arms without making my arms, you know, totally like stained and sore and so forth. So I really love this. This is probably my third bottle of this when I realized to start using it for swatches. And again, I have 4 more. Just a couple of boxes of some things I'm using. This is from Hero Cosmetics. This is the Force Shield Super Light Sunscreen with broad spectrum SPF 30. I will use this underneath my makeup on days where I'm not going to be outside all the time. If I'm going to be outside, I am going to use something like SPF 50 or above, but on days where I'm pretty much just in the house, I will use SPF 30, and I've been enjoying this, and it works nicely underneath different foundations and everything, even if I don't use a primer. So I've been really enjoying that, and the texture because it's not greasy. Another product I want to mention, this is Guerlain. This is the callus cream. I bought this from Nordstrom. It's a German brand that Farah, who used to be, when we were doing Clubhouse, she was in that group. She had recommended this during one of the Clubhouse sessions, and I really like this for my feet. So yeah, I love this. I'm going on to a second tube of this. Another sunscreen I wanted to mention I've been using is the La Roche-Posay. This is the Anthelios UV Moon 400. I bought this from the UK. It's not available in the States, but this is their latest sunscreen filters. And so I have different ones of these. They have like tinted, non-tinted. This one's non-tinted. I do have tinted for my husband, who has a darker complexion than I do. But, you know, I got all of the new ones that they had. So anyway, I have been using this. I like it, but I did notice that even though I had a ton of this on my face, I still got slightly pink at a softball game. So I'm not sold on the actual filter process on this one. So I like it. I might pick it up again, actually. I probably will, but it's a small bottle, by the way. But I will use this not as my strongest sunscreen if I'm going to be outside all day. And just 2 more things I wanted to mention today. We've got the True Skin Vitamin C Brightening Moisturizer. I'm currently using this. So I have the box here. I think this is a really nice lightweight moisturizer. So this is one that I've been using a bunch during the daytime because it's light, especially if I don't really feel like, you know, layering skincare, you know, running in a brush or something. So I've been using that a lot. I've been enjoying that. That was gifted to me, by the way. So True Skin sent that to me after I met with them at the makeup show in New York. And then Zoya nail polish remover. This is the Remove Plus. I've been picking this up from Ulta. I used to get it directly from Zoya, but Ulta is a little bit cheaper because I don't have to worry about like the shipping issue and so forth. So I buy this, and I just find it's my favorite nail polish remover at this point. So it just makes it easier to remove everything. So been going through a ton of these between me and my daughters. So that's everything. I have a ton more empties and more makeup to purge in the future. So we'll have another one of these at some point, but I think that's good for today. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'd love to know your thoughts on the products that I am removing from my collection, things I'm currently using, and let me know what you think. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you very soon.